You're listening to Cinemajaw, the greatest movies podcast ever, recorded on location from Chicago. My name is Matt Kay, and with me is
Rye the Movie Guy. And this week on Cinemajaw, Matt, we are talking summer blockbusters with our summer movie preview.
Hell yeah. I got my popcorn all buttered up, Ryan. I'm ready to go.
It's an exciting time because the box office is back. We were talking to Eric Childress a couple weeks back, and we mentioned to him, our movies, is the box office back? And as he said, maybe not fully there, but just about there. So it's exciting to get back out in the theater and see some big movies.
I reject that reality and substitute my own. The box office is back in full blast. It's here, baby. And I'm here for it.
A big movie came out this past weekend. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And Jawheads, we had to record this a little bit before the movie came out. And unfortunately, Matt was not able to see the film. Shame, Matt.
Yeah, I know. You're just go ahead and rub it in my face. It's fine, man. It's fine. You get to see the Marvel movie before me, the Marvel fan.
That's the best, isn't it?
No, it sucks.
Excited to give you my review of that one. No guest again this week, and no Phil. They need one more week to get situated. So it is just me and Matt this week. So we are going to play Stump the Kubinski in honor of Guardians of the Galaxy, a movie, Volume 3, a movie that Matt has not seen yet. We are playing Guardians of the Galaxy cast movie trivia. Right up your alley, right?
Yeah, should be. We'll see. I think I know a thing or two about this cast.
Very fun cast. And Jawheads, the month of May is Jane Fonda month on Cinemajaw. We heard a lot of Jawheads rejoicing after last week's episode when we announced Jane Fonda. I had no idea. The Jawheads that wrote us from Bethlehem Woods, keep on rocking. Thank you for listening. Thanks for the support. This month is for you guys. Ethel, James, we love you guys.
Just don't rock too hard and break a hip. We're here for you, though.
Continuing on with our Jane Fonda month, did you know that Jane Fonda's aerobics video workout in 1982 sold 17 million copies, making it,
I believe I had one,
making it the best-selling home video ever at the time. She became an icon of this form. Do you remember this exercise workout of Jane Fonda?
I am telling you the truth, Ryan. Not only do I remember it, I have a copy. I saw it recently. I was hiding Easter eggs at my parents' house, and they have a little cabinet with some old VHS tapes in, and I opened it up to hide an Easter egg, and there, staring up at me, was Jane Fonda and her leg warmers. And yeah, next time I'm there, I'll take a photo of it and post it to our Instagram. It might be a couple of weeks. I'll do it.
It hit that kind of popularity, and now in pop culture lore, that it is made fun of, and it'll pop up in the most random spots, kind of like a Family Guy-esque scenario where there's a one-off thing, and you'll see just the cover of that VHS or Jane Fonda in The Simpsons in her leg warmers. They're those kind of moments, and you know exactly what it is. It's Jane Fonda, early 80s, doing those exercise videos.
I think she popularized the leg warmer, that whole look, Did you have a copy of this? Did you watch it?
No.
Okay.
No. I know last week I felt like I was left out when you had read the book, Are You There, God? And I'm left out here because I didn't have a copy of Jane Fonda's workout. I mean,
you got to get on board of pop culture, man. It's a crazy fun train.
Hey, you know what you got to get on board with, Matt? Seeing the Marvel movies before I do. Okay? How about that?
Ouch.
Huh?
That stings.
Yeah.
Go on.
Let me tell you something, Matt. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, I can't not believe it has been 9 years since I was introduced to Star-Lord, Rocket Raccoon, Drax, Gamora, and Groot. I have mentioned it before. I went into that first Guardians movie dreading it, ready to make fun of it. I learned a lesson that day. Never doubt James Gunn. I ended up giving the film 4 Jaws and still to this day rank it as my favorite Marvel film. In 2017, we got Volume 2, and while I loved the addition of Kurt Russell to the cast, I was not as high on it as I was the first, but still favorable. A few months ago, news broke that James Gunn would take over at DC Films and guide them in a new direction. His swan song with Marvel is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Because Matt Kay had a family commitment, I had to hit the theater solo to see if this trilogy could close out on a high note.
We were gone for quite a while. But no matter what happens next, the galaxy still needs its guardians. Hello, we come in peace. Come on, Drax. Seriously, dude? No! Ow!
Don't forget where we came from.
We have been running our whole lives. Pete, I'm done running.
The Guardians of the Galaxy are my favorite movies in the MCU. I found myself caring about this group of misfits far more than I would have ever imagined. This explains why I love Volume 3 so much. The plot this time revolves around Rocket Raccoon. Very early on, he is attacked by an artificial being that was later explained to me to be Adam Warlock, played by Will Poulter. The only way Rocket will survive is if the Guardians work together and dig into Rocket's past. Now, this opens up the film to some flashback sequences that reveals Rocket's painful upbringing. We are also introduced to the main villain of the film, High Evolutionary. I got some questions for you, Matt, but High Evolutionary is the guy's name. He is on a quest to start the perfect society. During these flashbacks, we also meet Rocket's first group of friends, and with it comes an emotional beat that will elicit many tears in the theater. Like the other Guardian films, the plot moves from one predicament to the next each time we get a thorough explanation of what needs to be accomplished. The environments and strange beings that populate these environments are part of the fun. This is one weird and funky space adventure. At times, it gets a little overstuffed and it feels like it's about to go off the rails. However, James Gunn is able to wrangle it back together and give us a very satisfying send-off. The humor we've come to expect from the Guardians is here again, as is the music. Always a highlight. This time, we get everything from Radiohead to the Beastie Boys to Florence and the Machine. Another amazing mixtape, I must say. Marvel needed this, Matt. Something lacking the last couple of years has been the fun. This has it in spades. I can see some hardcore Marvel fans being upset that this doesn't advance phase 4 or 5 or whatever they're on. In my opinion, that's why I like this Guardians film so much. I don't need everything to be connected. Just give me a damn good movie, and that's what James Gunn has done. This is my favorite Marvel film in years.
Wow. I was just sitting back and enjoying that, Ryan. I'm so happy that you have found a corner of the Marvel universe to call your own, to plant your flag in. This is my Marvel. This is Ryan's Marvel. Do you feel that way? Do you feel a sense of ownership on it a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, to some degree, at least I can watch this one and avoiding spoilers, even though it opened up this past weekend, and I'm sure most people listening to this now have seen the movie, but as of this recording, Matt has not seen it. Got to keep reiterating that. So I don't want to spoil anything here, but
thank you.
There's a lot of emotion that wells up in this movie. And I don't think if I cared about these characters or liked the Guardians enough that would have connected with me. That it connected as much as it did, and I could feel heavy emotion on a couple different levels and in a couple different moments in the movie is definitely saying that, yes, I care about the Guardians. This is my little corner of the MCU that I'll say I enjoy, Matt.
Amazing. You said you had some questions
So
there.
okay, do you know the character High Revolutionary?
Adam, High Evolutionary? No, not really. No, I didn't read Guardians of the Galaxy or Nova Corps or any of the cosmic stuff. I really preferred the street level Marvel stuff. And then later I got into Avengers, which sometimes goes into the cosmic stuff, but for the most part. I didn't read Thor, and I realize it's awesome, and I probably should have. I just didn't. Never got around to it.
So I went with my cousin, who's joined us at a few of these Marvel screenings, and he's
Sure.
a big comic book fan, and he might even be listening to this episode. And so he's a great one after the movie ends that can fill me in on a lot of this, story. And sometimes I have a question about a character. There is a dog in this one. This Cosmo. You're familiar?
Yeah, Cosmo.
Right.
Yeah.
I have no clue. So these kind of questions, when the movie ends, I can get filled in by an expert, So Andrew helps me out and gives me all the answers that I'm looking for.
Cosmo's the dog that's licking Benicio del Toro's face.
In the first one.
Yep.
Understood. Yes. So obviously has a much bigger role in this movie. So, but according to Andrew, I think they got high evolutionary pretty spot on. I think that the storyline is probably a good one to pick. But what about the other character I mentioned?
Adam Warlock.
Yes. You're familiar?
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit more so. So in the second movie, they piss off the Golden people, and Adam Warlock is like one of their race, if I'm not totally mistaken. He's a cosmic superhero who's been kind of a anti-hero, good guy / bad guy at different times. And I know he had something to do with the Infinity Stones and may have even been trapped inside the Soul Gem at one point, if I'm not mistaken. I read the Infinity Saga, but that was a long time ago.
Interesting.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's played here brilliantly. I liked his little arc.
Will Poulter, huh?
Yeah, Will
Good
Poulter.
for him.
Fantastic. And seeing the Guardians together again was a joy. And I think this was a really well done send-off. Wasn't like completely sappy where you felt like they were really pushing it too hard on you. So I enjoyed the send-off. I like Guardians of the Galaxy 3 quite a bit.
So there will not be a 4. Did they make that clear?
Well, we can't say that, right? In these movies, it's tough to always say there's definitely not going to be a 4. But it's hinted at that this would be the conclusion of, at least obviously, James Gunn's not going to do another one now that he's working solely for DC. So it's more or less the end of this era of the trilogy.
Yeah, plus, I mean, like you said, 10 years ago is when we got the first one, more or less, close enough. The actors are getting older.
I agree.
You know?
It's amazing. Like, it does not feel to me that was 9 years ago, 2014. It doesn't feel like that I've known the Guardians that long, but it's been 9 years. So.
It's a long time.
It is.
Yeah.
There is a jaw-dropping moment and a moment in the film that I didn't talk about. And we get to go to these screenings and we see the movies, and even in this case, in the Dolby Atmos theater, it's fantastic. So I'm not complaining here, but a small nitpick that I have of going to these press screenings, Matt, and I think you're going to agree with me. When you see a big movie like a Marvel film like this or a Star Wars movie, you actually want to see it with the fans in a crowded theater to get the reaction in a theater. Because,
well, Ryan, that's how I'm going to see it.
because when you see it in a theater full of film critics, we don't get the clapping, for a applause break and an exciting moment. And there happens to be a wonderful moment here with the Beastie Boys playing over an action sequence. And I'll just say that I think it gives Thor Ragnarok's immigrant song scene a run for its money when it comes to the best Marvel musical moment. It's that strong.
Is it sabotage?
I don't want to say.
Can we at least talk?
No.
Okay, all right.
I don't want to say. Most people have already seen this movie, but I don't want to say as of this recording. And it was a moment that deserved applause at the end of the scene. And probably people listening to this are like, yeah, my theater went crazy. But ours, everybody with a pen and paper in their hand and stuffy film
You
critics.
just hear furious scribbling, right?
Yeah. No applause in there. But it was a wonderful moment. So that would have been my jaw-dropping moment. As for a movie poster quote, finally, Marvel gets back on track.
I agree with you, man. Post Endgame, aside from a few Spider-Man entries that were pretty damn good, it's been kind of lackluster for a while.
I need to point out, the Spider-Man are Sony with Marvel's help, but it's Sony owned.
It's MCU, though.
I know, but it's not produced by the same studio. It's produced by Sony. So, I mean, when you take Sony out of it and you're just going with Marvel, the Disney-owned Marvel, what's been good? It's been really bad since Endgame. Really bad.
You can make a case for Captain Marvel, I guess. That was one of the better ones.
I don't know. And that would have been before Endgame.
Was it before Endgame? Well, you're right.
Because she's in Endgame. So I know it has to be before Endgame.
You're absolutely correct. Wow, yeah, it's been a dearth of bad movies since then.
Yep. Dusting off the quarter jaw here, going 3.75, almost a perfect 4 jaws. It's a little long, a little bloated. Could have trimmed it up, kept it a little bit more on the rails. Could have been a perfect 4, but that's just nitpicking. 3.75, very strong for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. By far better than Volume 2. Right up there with Volume 1. Right around that level. That's what I'm talking here.
Great to hear, Ryan. I can't wait to see it. Let's talk about our summer movie preview.
These are movies coming out in May through August that we are excited for. We're each going to list 5 here and discuss when they're coming out. I'll go first this time. How's that sound, Matt?
Sounds good.
With my number 5 pick, it is directed by Christopher Nolan. At this point, Christopher Nolan is must-watch movies. He's going to put out a movie. We're going to see it. We're going to review it on the podcast. And on July 21st, he gives us Oppenheimer, about the physicist Oppenheimer who worked with scientists on the Manhattan Project, eventually leading to the development of the atomic bomb. Cillian Murphy is cast as Oppenheimer, and he's worked with Christopher Nolan in several films. He's been in Dunkirk. He's been in Inception. He was in the Batman film. So no stranger to working with Nolan. I think that's a good choice, and I think he's in a massive movie. Not that he hasn't been in before, but he's the star this time in Oppenheimer, so that'll be exciting to see. And Nolan loves to film these movies on large-scale formats. He filmed this entire movie in the IMAX format. So if you've gone and seen some of his movies before, one of the great examples is The Dark Knight, where he filmed the very beginning of the bank heist in the IMAX format, and everybody talks about it. Just felt like big and large scale.
There's a couple other scenes too, yeah.
But they were just picking and choosing the scenes because you couldn't quite film an entire movie on IMAX. Technology now has got there. Oppenheimer, the entire movie was shot with IMAX cameras. So if you could see it on a large scale format like an IMAX screen, it's also going to be presented in 70 millimeter, I'm hearing as well. He loves the idea of making it special to go to the movie theater to see his films. So Oppenheimer, my number 5 pick.
I'd like to see it in 70, man. That'd be fun. At number 5, not nearly the pedigree of Christopher Nolan, but Rob Marshall is no slouch. This is coming out later this month, and I'm just a sucker for this. I'm going with The Little Mermaid, the live-action adaptation. I'm a little excited for The Little Mermaid, Ryan.
I don't even know how to respond to this. I'm stunned that this is on your list.
Why?
Why? I'm dreading covering this movie, to be honest. I think this is going to be absolutely awful. I've been down. You just last week gave a bad review to Peter Pan.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
And here we are again with another live action remake of, an animated classic. I'm already to the point where, all right, what are they doing? Why do they got to do every single movie? And if anything, I think The Little Mermaid's one of the harder ones to pull off.
I just want to see Melissa McCarthy as Ursula.
I'm not that excited to see this at all, to be honest.
Well, all right. Well, I like going under the sea. What can I tell you? Interesting.
Wow. Matt, The Little Mermaid at 5. I am stunned, buddy.
I have you on tape saying, I just love The Little Mermaid. So, gonna throw that in here.
I just love The Little Mermaid. I just love The Little Mermaid. My number 4 pick is my A24 pick. My art house pick. It comes out June 2nd. The movie is called Past Lives. I'll read the plot here to you, Matt. See if this excites you here. Nora and Hai Sung, 2 deeply connected childhood friends, get separated after her family immigrates from South Korea. 2 decades later, they reunite in New York City for one faithful week as they confront notions of destiny, love, and life choices. This film premiered at the Sundance Film Festival to much acclaim. It currently sits at 95% Rotten Tomatoes, and having that A24 title card right at the top of your movie being the studio that's pushing you out there. Very excited to check out Past Lives.
Sweet. And I want to point something out for the Jawheads. When we did this summer preview, you picked first. So you got all 5 of the best films. And he said, here you go, Matt. Pick what's left. So to just explain my Little Mermaid pick a little bit.
I just love The Little Mermaid.
All right. I'm going with, this movie is coming out like this week, Ryan. But nevertheless, we're here in popcorn season, and it's Robert Rodriguez. So how do you pass up Hypnotic? And Ben Affleck is at in the driver's seat, and the villain is played by William Fichtner, right? Who's popped up in quite a few movies. I think this is kind of a chance for him to leave that guy status behind a little bit and make a true name for himself.
Right. Well, I was just talking about the Christopher Nolan bank heist scene in Dark Knight, and that's him with the shotgun. So
he pops up all over the place. I love this guy.
So he's the villain in this one, huh?
He is, yeah. Or at least that's what I am gathered from the trailer. Like, basically, it's about a bank heist or a series of bank heists, and this guy has like hypnosis powers, like mentalism powers, where he can hypnotize people into doing things against their will.
Interesting.
So it does look really intriguing. So,
and directed by Robert Rodriguez. Yeah, I'm intrigued.
No doubt. So there you go. That's my number 4.
Nice. Into our 3s we go. Whenever Wes Anderson makes a movie, I'm going to see it. Obviously, right? Love my Wes Anderson. And he has Asteroid City coming out June 16th. And we have a new actor joining the ranks of the Wes Anderson family of actors. Tom Hanks is making his Wes Anderson debut in the film. I love it. World-changing events spectacularly disrupt the itinerary of a junior stargazer / space cadet convention in an American desert town circa 1955. That is the plot. When it comes to a Wes Anderson movie, we got his regulars, but they showed how all the actors, I'm just going to read them in rapid fire here. Get a load of the names that are in this movie. Jason Schwartzman, Scarlett Johansson, Tom Hanks, Jeffrey Wright, Tilda Swinton, Bryan Cranston, Edward Norton, Adrian Brody, Liv Schreiber, Hope Davis, Rupert Friend, Maya Hawke, Steve Carell, Matt Dillon, Willem Dafoe, Margot Robbie, Hung Chau. The list goes on. I mean, literally everybody who's anybody.
Did you even mention Jeffrey Wright?
Yeah, I did. He's in there.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I watched the trailer and it's got this like pastel saturated look to it. Like it looks so meticulously shot and color corrected and everything, like the framing, almost to the point of it looking very annoying. Like it's
too Wes Anderson?
Too contrived. Too Wes Anderson.
Oh no.
It's too contrived. Like, listen, I love Rushmore, but like Rushmore was kind of punk in a way. It's getting too artsy for the sake of being artsy.
Don't say that. I love me some Wes Anderson. There's no such thing as too much Wes Anderson. So bring it on, Asteroid City. That one is June 16th. What do you got at 3?
I did love The French Dispatch. At 3, I have the animated film coming out in 2023 from Walt Disney Studios, Elemental. It's about fire elemental and a water elemental and their relationship. It's going to be steamy, right?
Is this Pixar?
It's Pixar. Yeah, so Disney Pixar.
It's an event film then, right? I mean, I know they've had some misses. They're not absolutely perfect like they used to be. But still, if it's a summer movie and it's a Pixar, you got to check it out.
This one looks like they're betting and they're putting some chips on it. And I remember seeing the first I don't know what you want to say, drips of this movie a long time ago. So they've been working on it for some time. So hopefully this really is one to see. I'm betting that it will be.
I sure hope so. And it's good to get something a little bit more original. As much as I love the Toy Stories and some of the sequels movies that they've done, I don't want to see Pixar give us another, Incredibles or a Toy Story 5. Give us something like Elemental where it's different and there's,
It's different and new.
Right, 100%. So I'm looking forward to that one as well. June 16th?
June 16th, Jawheads. Yep. Get ready for that one.
What a busy weekend because that's the same that Asteroid City's on. So we might be reviewing both those movies in the same podcast.
Yeah, probably.
My number 2, heavy hitter here, could have been number 1, but I settled in at number 2. And it comes out June 30th. It is the 5th film in a franchise, but it has a new director. Number 2. Wow, I can't believe we have another one. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Number 2.
Crazy sauce.
Right?
Crazy sauce. Yeah.
So James Mangold, who directed Logan, which we love, Ford vs. Ferrari is the director. I did not know that Spielberg was not directing this. I don't know if I kept up to date with the behind the scenes stuff. I was a little behind on that. And when I realized James Mangold is directing this, I thought, oh, okay. Now it turns out this news is going around that Spielberg has seen the movie and gives his approval. We have a de-aged Harrison Ford from what I hear in the first like 25 or 30 minutes of the movie. Should be pretty interesting. We had Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Everybody was a little bit down on it. You can't let Indiana Jones ride into the sunset with Crystal Skull being his last movie. They had to correct this. I'm hoping for the best. I think everybody's hoping for the best. Where do you sit on this one, Matt?
Hoping for the best. Like you, I grew up with Indiana Jones. Like these were the adventure movies of our generation. Listen, I'm not as down on Crystal Skull as a lot of people. The movie sucks. That's where we get the term nuked the fridge from, which is synonymous with jump the shark. It just means like it went over the top. And it does. But there are some redeeming qualities. I don't think it's as bad as most people make it out to be. But that being said, it's pretty bad. And it was definitely not. It's the worst of the Indiana Jones film. Let's have him go out on a high note.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's give him another shot here. And another thing, when a movie like this comes out, it gives me an excuse to do. I just had this conversation with someone. They asked me how often do I watch older movies, and I said part of my complaint of seeing so many movies doing the podcast is we're constantly watching new movies. It doesn't give me a lot of time to rewatch a lot.
I've been talking about this for years, Ryan. We should just do a classic segment.
Right. So a lot of times I don't see him. And then I'll talk to, like my brother, all he does is watch the same movie over and over a bunch, especially when he had cable back then. He'd see a movie, 10 times. And I'm like, man, I don't see anything multiple times. When an Indiana Jones movie comes out, back to my point, it gives me an excuse to watch all the Indiana Jones movies again as a lead up to this. So I'm looking forward to that. I haven't watched the Indiana Jones films in several years now. So I've only seen Crystal Skull one time. And yes, we're being hard on it, but I'm actually looking forward to revisiting it. I only saw it one time in the theater. So let me rewatch that. Let me rewatch all the Indiana Jones as a lead up to this. I'm also looking forward to that. So
when does it come out? Oh, you already said June 16th.
June 30th. Don't screw up the Jawheads dates. June 30th, Matt.
June 30th. Well, No Hard Feelings, Rye, which is also the title of my next film. No Hard Feelings.
Wait a minute. Is this the Jennifer Lawrence film?
It is. Did I steal one of yours?
No. I love this pick, though.
Dude, I saw this trailer. I saw the Red Band trailer. It looks hilarious. I love Jennifer Lawrence.
Give me the premise. The Jawheads might not know. What's the premise? Give us.
Well, Matthew Broderick, who's hilariously aged, by the way, and his wife in the film play parents to this kind of dork, and he's going off to college, and they want to get him laid. So they basically hire Jennifer Lawrence to come and seduce him and
have sex with him.
Yeah, to have sex with him. They want her to date his brains out. That's the direct quote from the trailer. This movie looks like a raunchy sex comedy, but with a little bit of heart. Like it's going to be in that same like Bad Santa sort of vibe where it's like really over the top, gross out kind of stuff, but it winds up having some kind of like deep soul heart to it. I'm in. I think nobody can swing like Jennifer Lawrence. When I say swing, I mean like take a shot at a script that's kind of different. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This is out of her wheelhouse in a lot of ways, but I think she's going to rock it.
She is quite funny though. She
can be.
She really is. I mean, when she's actually acting herself and she's in interviews, I think she's one of the funniest people. Like just the way she is just so spontaneous and, honest and says like goofy things and almost like screws up little stuff. She fell at the Oscars and there's just been multiple moments where she's just that kind of person that can do something goofy or what would be embarrassing to other people. And she just has this like knack of like, oh my God, I can't believe that just happened. But she can laugh at it at the same time.
Right. Like American Hustle is a great example of her kind of like letting loose with that funny character.
Right. Right. So I saw the trailer with you right before we watched that movie 65 with Adam Driver. And I remember that was the first time I saw this trailer. It's been a long time since I've seen a trailer and I laughed out loud as much as I did for this. So if that's any indication, I think this has got a shot to really be something special.
I agree. I'm stoked for this one.
Yep. And the name of it again?
The name of it is No Hard Feelings, and
Okay,
it
No
drops
Hard Feelings.
June 23rd.
All right. Could have did a little bit better on the title, but all right. No hard feelings.
No, dude, it's a pun.
Yeah,
It's a pun.
I get you.
Okay.
All right.
It's a good title.
Thanks for explaining that it's a pun, though.
Well, hey, you never know with you, you know?
To me, I just can't remember the title in my mind. No hard feelings. All right, I'll get it. My number one movie could be shocking, Matt, because it is a superhero movie.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
Do tell.
Do you have a superhero movie as your number one?
Depends on your definition of superhero, but maybe.
Okay. My number one pick is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. This is the sequel to Spider-Verse, the animated movie that won the Oscar for Best Animated Film, that sort of came out of left field, I guess. I mean, I know I was completely blown away by the animation style and the story, the sound design. I mean, the movie is just a delight for the senses. As soon as it came out, I couldn't wait to see where the story would go more. I mean, it's going to open up to this whole Spider-Verse. There is a spider character in the movie played by Daniel Kaluuya. His name is Spider-Punk. If that doesn't get you excited, Matt, Spider-Punk.
Oh, I know Spider-Punk.
Oh, you know? Oh,
I know.
okay. I didn't know you knew
yeah,
Spider-Punk.
Yeah. I have the action figure.
Oh, of course
Hell yeah.
you do.
He's got a mohawk on his suit and he wears a leather jacket. Yeah, Spider-Punk is badass.
Okay, so Spider-Punk's going to be in the movie. I'm really looking forward to this one. Comes out June 2nd. You got to be pumped.
Stoked. I can't wait. The first one was so unusual in that it was an animated superhero movie that sort of broke the mold, broke out of its own box, because those are almost always throwaways. Even the good ones don't really reach a wide audience, like a Rye the movie guy who has never seen Mask of the Phantasm.
Never,
you know?
never.
Right. And in all honesty, I love that movie, but it's no Into the Spider-Verse. That movie was something else.
Oh,
entirely.
Totally. Love it. I mean, it's right up there with the best Spider-Man movie of all time. So
you can make a case. You could definitely make a case. All right. My number one is actually what Ryan's number one should have been. Like, we flip-flopped our number ones because I can't believe you didn't even have this on your list. Comes out July 14th. Tom freaking Cruise as Ethan Hunt in Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. What are you thinking, Ryan, not having this on your list?
I am excited, I guess, for it. I mean, just didn't make my top 5.
Wow. I mean, how times have changed, Jawheads. How times have changed. Ryan skips on a Mission Impossible movie to put a Spider-Man movie at number 1. Well, he left this one on the table for me, and I'm picking it up. Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible, that theme song, everything. He's over 50 and still making action movies.
Over 60.
Over 60.
Yeah.
Good Lord. Making action movies look easy.
Did you see this stunt where he is on a bike, a motorcycle, and he just goes off a
Drives
ramp?
it off a cliff.
Yeah, and then he parachutes off of that. And it is actually Tom Cruise doing this stunt. It's
Right.
just insane at this point.
He's a nutty guy. Do you think he's going to meet his demise doing one of these crazy
He's
stunts?
Tom Cruise. We'll be talking
Yeah.
about Tom Cruise in 1,500 years.
Probably. So there you go.
Well,
Mission Impossible. That's my number 1.
so Matt made a big gaffe here, Jawheads, and I know the listeners all know what this is, but Matt has no clue. He misses, as he mentioned, I picked my 5 movies, and I left some out there for Matt to pick on purpose. And I thought, well, he'll go with this one. And that's why I thought, well, he's got a superhero movie at number 1. Also, it just premiered at CinemaCon out in Hollywood, and everybody has confirmed it is one of the greatest superhero movies of all time, and that is The Flash.
Oh, really? It's getting good reviews?
Now, I know a lot of times you always like to be shocked. Like, what are you talking about? What do you mean you don't know what this is, you know?
I saw the stuff with Keaton and whatnot. I'm kind of afraid, so I've been staying away from it.
So, again, James Gunn, who took over for DC and is scrapping a lot of this connected universe, and that's good. He saw the movie several months ago and said, this is something special. This is going to be, and this is James Gunn saying this is the best superhero movie that's been made. And then everybody was like, whoa, 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 what, getting crazy. Well, it just premiered finally at CinemaCon, and Twitter just blew up with everybody who saw it and said, yeah, it's hands down, got to be in the conversation, is one of the all-time greats. Trailer looks absolutely fantastic.
Ezra Miller.
Ezra Miller. I mean, do you think Christian Bale's in this?
Do I think Christian Bale's in it? I would say no, but who knows, right? It's a universe hopper.
Right. And in the trailer, there's the
Michael Keaton is in it.
Yeah, Michael Keaton's definitely in it. We clearly see him. But there's a couple of shots of Batman on that motorcycle that looks very familiar to The Dark Knight. So maybe...
The Bat Pod.
Yeah, maybe Christian Bale makes an appearance in this.
Hey, maybe Ben Affleck too. Let's just get all the Batmen. Let's get them all.
I think they'll all be in this one.
Is this Into the Batverse? Is that what we're doing here?
I don't know.
Hey, it worked for the Marvel guys. Let's just do a bunch of Batmen, just get everybody.
Yeah.
Throw them in one movie.
I mean, it could happen.
It could happen.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, the other thing is to go back to Ezra Miller was having all those issues everywhere.
Yeah, some bad things.
A lot of people were saying, well, it's just time to like scrap it and reshoot, or maybe shelve the movie, all that kind of talk. And there was just no way. Everybody kept saying there's no way they're not releasing this movie. And they just got to calm Ezra Miller down,
Do you think they pulled that off?
I myself, I mean, you're talking to a guy who doesn't pay that much attention to all of the antics of actors and actresses. And it's just not my thing. I really am. People always ask me this a lot of times. And I'm like, in this case, I know what it is. I know some of the stories, but I'm saying in other cases, people will ask me something and I'm completely oblivious to what they're referring to because I'm really about the movies and the craft and do they act, all the usual stuff I don't pay too much attention to in the tabloids. But in this case, I remember some stuff, but I mean, I don't have enough knowledge of the information to actually make a comment.
I left it off my list a little bit because of Ezra Miller and a little bit because I'm still kind of afraid of what the DC universe has in store, but definitely excited. It didn't make my list. That wasn't an oversight on my part.
Okay. Interesting. These are the movies we are looking forward to, Jawheads. If we missed one that you want to talk about, shoot us an email. We're feedback@cinemajaw.com. When we come back, we got some trivia to play with Matt Kay. It's Stump the Kubinski. It is Guardians of the Galaxy cast movie trivia. Stick with us.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Our person of the month, Jane Fonda, has had an amazing career. If you want to check out some of her early work, we highly suggest the 1962 drama A Walk on the Wild Side, where she plays Miss Kitty Twist.
Hallelujah. Look who I see. If it isn't the Reverend Dove Lincoln.
Kitty.
Little Kitty from Paducah, nobody else. You got a cigarette, Dockery?
What are you doing here, Kitty?
I run the candy concession. You know, Reverend, when you left me and didn't give a damn what happened to me, I got picked up for vagrancy. And if it wasn't for Joe Courtney's lawyer, I'd still be rotting in that stinking jail. Well, you old Bible thumper, what are you here for? Looking for justice, mercy, love? You know, Dove, I ought to thank you. Because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be working here.
Why are you doing this, Kitty?
I like my work. Besides, you meet a better class of people than you do on the road.
Kitty, I want...
Dovey. Oh, you want to see me? You make an appointment with that gentleman over there.
I'm looking for Hallie, Kitty.
The Hallie that works here?
Do you know where she is? I want...
Oh, Dovey, you better get in line.
Sparkling drinks in chocolate, sparkling drinks in sparkling drinks in chocolate, sparkling drinks in sparkling drinks in chocolate. Dandy, 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 dandy.
And we are back on Cinemajaw. Matt, are we ready to play some trivia?
Let's do it. Let's play some trivia, Ryan.
No guest means we're stumping the Kubinski with 5 questions. Matt needs to get at least 3 correct. Question 1. In Guardians of the Galaxy movie trivia, besides the Guardians and Marvel movies, name 2 films that Dave Bautista appears in.
Glass Onion, Blade Runner 2045. I mean, close enough. I don't. That's not the right year. 2029. Wait, no, wait. It's
We'll give it to you.
yeah. But what
Blade
was
Runner
it?
2049.
That's what I said.
You said 45.
Oh, come on, close enough.
All right. We give that one to Matt. That is correct. Also, a couple others: Knock at the Cabin, Army of Thieves, and Dune, to name a few. 1 for 1 for Matt. Question 2. Chris Pratt is in one movie with Brad Pitt. Name it. Chris Pratt, Brad Pitt, in what? I will give you a hint. Brad Pitt
okay.
has never been in a Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
Yeah. Is it World War Z?
Incorrect. Boy, sorry about that one, Matt. We're looking for Moneyball. Moneyball. He's one,
Chris Pratt's in Moneyball?
yes,
He's one of the players.
He's one of the players.
Okay. I forgot about that. It's a tiny role.
Matt is 1 correct, 1 wrong as he moves to question 3. Zoe Saldana appears in this 2022 Ryan Reynolds sci-fi film.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Liked this movie. This is where he goes back in time and he meets his younger self.
We reviewed it on Cinemajaw.
We did, and we liked it. The Atom Project.
That is correct. Well done, Matt K. He is 2 for 3, and we move to question 4. Which Guardians stars in the following? Case 39, The Words, and Burnt. Which Guardian stars in Case 39, The Words, and Burnt?
Bradley Cooper.
That is correct. 3 out of 4 for Matt. He is not stumped. Back-to-back weeks, he is not stumped. Question number 5 to you, Matt. Name 3 movies Vin Diesel stars in that do not have or are not a sequel.
Pitch Black.
No, that has a sequel.
Oh, wait. That doesn't have a sequel or that isn't a sequel?
Both. That isn't a sequel or has a sequel. So like standalone movies. We're looking for 3 standalone Vin Diesel films.
The Iron Giant.
That is correct. 1.
Boy, drop off the cliff after that. Because Triple X, even though he never reprised the oh no, he wound up reprising it, didn't he?
He did.
You know, surprisingly good movie. Go revisit it. I love the first Triple X.
Never saw any of them.
It's stupid, dumb action, but it's like enjoyable.
Yeah, I remember I was in the adult section looking for it and I couldn't find it.
Huh. Maybe you were in the wrong section there, Rye. Let's see. Like, given enough time, I could think this through. He did some really stupid, like, kids detective movie, like The Protector or something like that.
So great.
Man, I don't know. That's all I got.
I think you were thinking of The Pacifier.
That Pacifier, yeah. There wasn't a sequel to that piece of shit. Tell me.
No, The Pacifier was a standalone. Just to name a few.
Well, so I got two.
No, you did not say The Pacifier. I'm not giving that to you. You said The Protector.
I was close enough. Come on, nobody remembers that.
The Protector and The Pacifier are not the same.
Same thing.
You weren't going to get any of the other ones. We would have also accepted Bloodshot, which does not have a sequel.
Oh, yeah. We liked that one, too.
He's in Saving Private Ryan.
He is?
Yep. He's in Boiler Room.
I don't even remember that movie. I'm sure I would if you told me, but go on.
Also, A Man Apart, one of his big ones. Babylon AD, just to name a few.
Okay.
So
he's got a few. Bloodshot wasn't bad.
No. I mean, not good either, though.
Yeah.
It's all right because Matt did get 3 correct anyways. So you did well, Matt. You're not stumped.
Not stumped.
Brings us to the end of a great jaw. I'm excited because next week, Phil will be back.
Yeah, I'm excited for that too. We miss Phil.
We do. We want to thank the Patreons for supporting Cinemajaw. If you want to join us there, the easiest way to do so is to go over to patreon.com/Cinemajaw. It would mean the world to us if you want to support us that way. Another way to support us, very easy, is to leave us a review wherever you're listening to this podcast or on Apple iTunes, right, Matt?
Yeah, well, it's just Apple Podcast now.
Oh, is that what it's called? Just Apple Podcast?
It's just called Apple Podcasts. Only old guys like you call it iTunes still. It's you got to get with it. The hip people say Apple Podcasts. Apple Podcasts, go there right now, pull out your iPhone and drop us some stars. Tell us the truth. If you think the show sucks, which obviously, you're wrong. It's amazing. Let us know. But let us know your honest opinion. Leave us a review. It really helps. It really, really does.
It does.
So please do that.
Absolutely. We also want to thank Phil, who is going to be back and may even end up editing the show. We'll see. So
yeah, we should always thank Phil regardless.
No matter what, we thank Phil. Until next week, I'm Ryan, the movie guy.
I'm Matt Kay.
And keep on jawing about the movies. We are back on Cinemajaw. Matt, before we get to trivia.
Yes, Ryan, you have something to ask? Some kind of a question, a query?
I really
An
don't.
itch that you're looking to scratch? A mystery that needs solving? Is there a case? Should we call Scooby-Doo?
I got nothing.
Let's go straight to the trivia.
All right, here we go.